If you guys would like to talk more about the updates for Old School RuneScape in 2019 and 2020, I'm actually live on Twitch right now on twitch.tv/soup. It's just the first link in the description of this video. I would love to talk to you guys more about the updates, what you guys think, and what you guys would like to see for the future of Old School RuneScape. So click that link, come in there, tell me what's up, follow the stream, and we can talk more about it. Anyways, guys, welcome back to a new video. My first one after a couple weeks of being away. I was just at TwitchCon in San Diego, California, and I was also just at RuneFest in Farnborough, England, and they were back to back, like one after another. So it was pretty much just 2 weeks straight of traveling, meeting up with people, talking RuneScape, talking Twitch. It was a long 2 weeks, long 2.5 weeks, but I'm really excited to be back. Sorry for the small hiatus, but I promise you guys I have really big plans for this channel, a brand new series coming out at the end of 2019, and I'm really excited to rebuild this channel and talk to you guys more about it. This video today is going to be kind of more like a podcast video. I haven't done this in a while. One of the staples on my channel has been these Update Thursday videos for quite some time now, and actually, fun fact, a lot of people at RuneFest who came up to me said that they actually watched the Update Thursday videos, which is completely awesome. I'm happy people like them. Obviously, they're not the most intense videos to make, but I'm happy people who maybe don't play the game or people who don't have time to check out the updates on the Old School website can just throw on a video of mine and see what's up, with the game. That being said, the past 2 weeks have been pretty content filled for Old School RuneScape. Not only have they announced stuff before RuneFest, but they announced some absolutely massive things at RuneFest, which we'll talk about in this video. So this video, like I said, is going to be a long, kind of like a podcast type video. So if you guys just want to leave this up in the background while you guys are playing, or if you're in a car or just listening to something somewhere else that's not your computer, hey, just throw up this video. We're going to go for a long time now. We're going to ramble a bit. I'm not going to do too many cuts. I kind of like doing these videos. I think people also said that they just like having a video up in the background where they can just listen to and talk to about Old School RuneScape, and just, pretty much just have a long drawn-out video talking about mainly Old School RuneScape, as I just said like 15 times. Anyways, that being said, the podcasts actually are going to be coming back with Alkin, so if you guys liked those podcasts with Alkin, we're thinking of doing one here in the next couple weeks or so. Anyways, today's video is going to be covering the past 2 weeks of announcements from Old School RuneScape. I've been gone, maybe you guys have been gone as well, and of course when I'm gone, that's when the most pretty much intense updates and announcements have been announced. So we're going to go over 3 main updates today: the Twisted League update, the unofficial client update, and of course the Old School RuneScape reveals for RuneFest, which includes the Morytania Expansion, the client system, and of course everyone's big favorite thing is Group Ironman. I'm going to leave timestamps in the description and in the comments section below, so if you guys want to skip to when I talk about these different things, just click on the timestamp and it can bring you straight to what you want to talk about. If you guys do like these longer style drawn out videos, make sure to leave a like on the video. It helps out a lot more than you guys think. Likes mean a lot, so thank you all again. And of course, leave your thoughts and discussions in the comment section below the video as well. So the first thing we're going to talk about today is the Old School RuneScape Twisted League update, which might come out, I think it actually will come out in 2019. So if you guys remember, a couple of years ago, there was an update that came out called King of the Skill. And the point of King of the Skill was for players to try to get the highest total possible skill total level in the space of 24 hours of in-game playtime. So what you did was you pretty much had 24 hours in-game, and the person who got the highest total level in the game at that time won. I think Wooks ended up getting first or second or something, which is not surprising at all. But what this is going to do is kind of like an expansion of that. There's going to be a lot more to do. Not only is skilling, and skilling is going to be part of this, obviously, but it's not only skilling. There's PVMing, there's PV. I wish there was PvP, but there's no PvP. There's pretty much PVMing and skilling, and you guys are going to have to try to go for these different achievements. So we'll read here what they're talking about. So they say, gather around and prepare yourself for a brand new game mode. After recently announcing Old School RuneScape Leagues, they want to present the first one, which is the Twisted League. In the Twisted League, you're going to play as an Iron Man or Iron Woman, and you're going to be locked to the Karend and the Kebos regions, so pretty much Zaya. So you set out to explore all new challenges, thinking outside the box, while you attempt to unlock as many points as possible for relics and rewards. Set yourself apart from the rest, or just try out an exciting way to play the game that you love. So this league that they're talking about is going to last for 2 months from the initial release date. So this Twisted League is going to be in the game for 2 months on a separate separate server. Everyone participating in the league starts off on a fresh account on a separate game world. To customize your gameplay, you'll be given the option to pick a relic from the very start. The more tasks you complete, the more points you get, and the more relics you unlock. So we're going to check out the different drop-down menus here to see what they're offering. So the rules here, the first one is that, of course, you're going to be locked to Karend and Kebos. You'll be restricted to these regions only. Any successful attempt to escape Kourend and Kebos will get you teleported back to the respawn point. The respawn location is in Kourend Castle, and of course they have all these different things here talking about the ports. The teleports only work if the destination is within Kourend and Kebos. Ancient and Lunar spellbooks are not accessible, and all clues obtained will only have steps that can be completed in the Kourend and Kebos regions. The Ironman mode, it's going to be an Ironman, Iron Woman mode, like we said, with accelerated XP rates. No trading takes place between players. Shops have increased supplies and accelerated restocking rates to accommodate the number of Ironmen and Iron Woman players on Kourend and Kebos, and there's going to be accelerated XP rates throughout the entirety of the league. You start off with level 3 Herblore and level 15 Agility, so you guys can actually gain those, you can actually level up on those skills on this Twisted League, and the Druidic Ritual, Dragon Slayer, and Rune Mystery quests are all going to be permanently unlocked when you start the game mode. Otherwise, you couldn't train certain skills without those unlocked. You start Slayer from level 5 combat by speaking to Konar. She has a new Kourend and Kebos defined task list, which includes some new tasks specific to the Twisted League. Her tasks will no longer have area restrictions, but will still award Brimstone keys. So those are the rules for the game mode. If we go to the tasks, what they pretty much are offering here is that there's going to be different tasks you guys have to complete. There's a collection of goals and achievements that can be completed in the league, and these tasks can be for various activities like skilling, obtaining drops, killing creatures, completing quests, or even playing minigames. If you guys complete these tasks, you get awarded a number of league points, which can then be used to unlock relics and overall rewards. Points received from completing each task will be subject to balancing, but will be based on the tier of the task. The tasks range from easy to master tiers, where easy are simple, and master, of course, are extremely difficult achievements. Here are some of the tasks you guys can expect to see. So for example, let's say you guys want to get in some points for a skilling task. An easy skilling task that can get you points is to steal a Golovinavo fruit from a stall. A medium would be to enter the woodcutting guild. A hard is to cast resurrect crops. Elite, you check the health of a redwood tree. And then a master would be to obtain a skilling pet, which, I mean, that's just complete RNG, but still, those would be the examples of skilling tasks to gain points. A PVM task would be to complete a jelly task for an easy point. Medium would be to kill Skatizo. A hard is to equip a Dragon Warhammer. Elite is to complete 250 Chambers of Zarek runs. And then a master would be to metamorphize the Omelet pet. And then some other random tasks would be, for example, easy is completing a simple quest like Client of Kourend. Medium, completing the In Search of the Knowledge mini quest. A hard is to plant 100 Balagano seeds. Elite is to complete the Kourend and Kebos diaries. And then master would be to have 2277 total level. I definitely see some of these tasks being reworked, of course. Again, this is just a very small amount of the tasks that they're offering here, but some of these are going to be absolutely insane if you think about it, right? You have 2 months to build an account from scratch, try to get all the gear you need, and then to complete the elite, PVM task, you need to do 250 Chambers of Zarek runs. That's insane. 250. I mean, the tough thing about this Twisted League thing is that the question is, some people do really want a new, game mode, and this Twisted League is, of course, being offered to them. But, for example, let's say an Ironman who's playing on the main game right now also really needs to do more Chambers of Zarek. Is that Ironman really going to drop what he's doing from playing the main game and then enter this new game mode, build an account completely from scratch? Of course, there are accelerated, XP rates, and it is a bit easier to play the game mode, but then just because you're getting accelerated XP rates doesn't mean that your Chambers of Zarek runs are getting any faster, right? 250 Chambers of Zarek runs takes a lot of time, especially when you're not going to have the best gear possible on the, Kourend and Kebos and this Twisted League that's only taking place on Zeah. It's going to be very, very tough. Again, this is just a very limited amount of tasks that they're showing us here, but I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of talking about and a lot of reworking for some of these, because, I mean, imagine getting 2277 total level in 2 months of playing this game mode. I mean, you literally are going to have to drop out and play this game full time for that to happen. So these relics that they keep talking about are league-specific source of buffs, which you can use to customize your gameplay experience. You unlock it via league points, and these relics can be boosts in experience, buffs to combat prowesses, additional luck on obtaining drops, or even buffs to specific skilling activities. When you leave Tutorial Island, you're presented with 3 relics to choose from without the need for points. This allows you to choose which strategy you want to use in the league and give you incentive to strive for the next set of relic options. As you unlock more relic options, the buffs become more powerful, powerful. Below is a list of the first 3 twisted relics you get from choosing when entering Corendon Kebos. So what they're pretty much saying here is that when you guys enter this Twisted League game mode, you can choose from one of 3 relics. You unlock a lot more relics down the line, which you can see they're all locked right here. And the more tasks you complete, which means you can, then use your points on unlocking additional relics, which makes your, gameplay experience that much better. And now the first 3 you can choose, it's kind of like choosing a starter Pokemon, right? You guys can choose 3 from these starter relics. The first one would be an Abyssal Accumulator, and this saves you 80% of your ammunition and runes. Endless Endurance, your run energy drain rate is reduced to 0, and your prayer drains at half the speed. And then, for example, we have the Dark Altar Devotion. The bones are dropped by creatures are automatically buried and awards 4 times the experience. And then Ensouled Heads now drop 2 at a time. So, I mean, just off the top of my head, if I were to choose one of these, I feel like if you're trying to race around and beat other people to certain achievements, an Endless Endurance seems like a no-brainer to me, right? Run energy is reduced to 0 and your prayer drains at half the speed. That seems busted. Of course, Abyssal Accumulator, I guess, they should make this like 90% or something. 80% is too low. And then Dark Altar Devotion, yeah, it's good XP, I guess, for prayer. And then, of course, when you're doing Slayer, it'll be, I guess, be easier. You don't have to bury the bones yourself. But again, just off the top of my head, if you guys had to choose one of these 3 for the Twisted League, which one do you guys choose? I think Endless Endurance to me is the most obvious. So the rewards for this Twisted League minigame, the rewards are tiered to ensure players that do participate are rewarded for the effort they put into the league, and these unique rewards will be obtainable by placing them in the following tiers: Bronze, Iron, Steel, Myth, Adamant, Rune, and Dragon. Of course, you guys can see the threshold here. If you guys are the top 1% of people who play Twisted League, you'll be in the Dragon tier. There's some league-to-league rewards. For example, if you guys get a pet on one league, if you guys let's say get a rune crafting pet on the Twisted League, the next time a new league starts, that pet will move on to the next one as well. That way you don't lose that pet and it's gone forever. If you guys participated in previous leagues, if you right-click somebody's name, it shows you their rank from the previous league. So if somebody right-clicks, let's say my name, and I got the Rune tier, it'll say I was in the Rune tier. We have league rank worlds, we have league armor sets, and then we have some main game rewards, which I think most people care about. So if you guys play in the Twisted League, what are you going to get on the main game? And if you're thinking it's going to be something like a new weapon, anything that'll help boost your XP on the main game, no, that's never going to happen. The only thing that could actually, I think, maybe pass a poll is cosmetics. And the first thing we have is a cosmetic Twisted League outfit. These look pretty cool, I'm not going to lie. We have a Twisted League themed banner, a Twisted League Slayer helm recolor, that looks really sick, a Twisted League home teleport animation, and then a Twisted League themed player-owned house wall kit, which also looks really good, a Twisted Ancestral Robes ornament kits, Twisted League trophies, and that's pretty much what they're offering. So most of these are going to be cosmetic because I think first of all, Jagex can't put something into the game that helps your account a significant amount, but you can only get it if you play Twisted League, right? That doesn't make any sense. So the only thing that's really pretty much going to be offered here are these cosmetics and the recolors. So some of the FAQs they have here pretty much answer all the questions that I pretty much had. So is this more of a casual thing or is this more of a dedicated player thing? They say here that they want it to be accessible to both competitive and casual players. So that's why alongside the high scores, they have a tiered reward structure that caters to all types of players. Do I have to start over? Yes, you have to start over, except there's going to be accelerated XP rates and an unlockable relic like we talk about. Each league is going to last a different amount of time. They are working on Group Ironman, of course, now that it was announced, and account security. This isn't going... I think the important thing here, this isn't replacing Deadman mode as like RuneScape's esport. This is just additional. They just hired a new head of esports that's working on ideas for competitive gaming for Oldschool RuneScape. So that's going to be exciting when that hopefully gets announced very soon. And we have how long... What I already said that. Do I need to make a new account to play leagues? Yes. You can only play on an account you currently have. You can, however, play both Old School and Twisted Leagues on the same account at the same time. So what we have here is a brand new unique game mode. It kind of combines a bunch of things into one, right? We have the area restricted thing, which has blown up in popularity the past few years. We have the Ironman involved in this as well, which is probably one of the most popular things to do in the game right now. So we have area restricted, Ironman, achievement tasks, gain XP, gain skilling levels, kill bosses, all into one. And it's pretty much just a point system, and the person with the most points is going to win the Twisted League. Now, right off the bat, if you guys just want my pretty much overall opinion on this, let me know what you guys think of it in the comment section below as well. I think this sounds really cool. I think it looks awesome. If I wasn't so dedicated on my other Ironman account, I think I would put all my time into this because it seems really, really cool. But the tough thing is that, I mean, I guess I can play on my main account on this and then play on my Ironman on the main game, but it's going to take a lot of time you have to put a lot of time into this to, obviously get the best account possible and get the most tasks and relics possible. But either way, I'm excited that they're kind of thinking outside the box. I will give Jagex that. I think it's good that they're thinking outside the box and trying to expand into something new. And hopefully when they do come out with maybe an update on this isn't the final version of Twisted League. They're definitely taking player feedback and going to be updating this over the next few months, and then we'll see what happens with that. But that's the one that was like kind of the first big update. I think it was first announced in September, and I'm a fan of it, but we'll see what happens in the next few months when they talk about all the updates. Next up, we have Jagex's official statement on third-party clients. As you guys all know, third-party clients have been a very, very hot topic this past year, especially in the past 6 months, because certain clients have come out that have been offering plugins that are way, way, way too intrusive to the game. These plugins are pretty much telling you exactly what you need to do at high-level bosses like the Inferno, for raids, TOB. They're, bypassing left clicks for certain things. They're pretty much making you click less to play the game, which in a sense is botting, but people don't see it as that because you're still playing the game, yet the client is just making it easier for you. Now, clients like OS Buddy and RuneLite are, pretty much the main clients that people use. And then there's also new clients. There's private clients that people are using these very, very intrusive plugins. Now, Jagex released this statement about a week ago on the 30th September 2019. And when I read this for the first time, I found it to be very, very vague. And the reason I found it to be very, very vague is because they didn't really stamp their foot down. What all they're saying in this is that they don't like a lot of the plugins, but they're not saying that, if you are going to use these, you're going to be immediately banned. They say right here that we consider features which enable you to bypass gameplay mechanics to be unacceptable, like those which might indicate where projectiles land, or NPCs might spawn, or which protection prayers you to activate when doing something. The same can be said for features which might modify how you select actions in the game, or change how you click on menus, players, or NPCs, especially where the feature leads you to use fewer clicks than you would when using their official vanilla client. So for example, these things right here are obviously unacceptable. Features that allow you to engage in blackjacking with fewer clicks, features that allow you to interact with altars with fewer clicks, features that allow you to interact with construction hotspots and items with fewer clicks, features that allow you to interact with logs with fewer clicks than our actual client would allow, features that tell you where Vorkath's attack might land, where to stand to avoid Zolra's attacks, and what protection prayers to activate, and then what the next demonic gorilla attack is going to be. And there's a lot more of these plugins that they didn't announce, that they didn't list here, that can pretty much be grouped up with these other plugins. They also say down here that we're assessing our options on how to best enforce this, but ultimately the use of unacceptable features which we consider to be detrimental to the community experience of the game will result in account bans. They don't want players to be left in a constant state of fear though for possible bans, so they're going to be giving advanced warning if any additional features are being considered for the list. The statement here is not meant to cover all possibilities since new ones may emerge at any time, but it should giving you guys more clarity about what you can do and what you can't do in the meantime, and they hope to offer a more clarity in the future, and we're going to reach out to the community to identify the right long-term solution which strikes the right balance between player enjoyment and game integrity. So that's the statement. There isn't really anything else here other than Jagex saying, we don't like a lot of these plugins, however, we're not going to just straight up say you can't use third-party clients, or if you use this plugin, you're going to be banned. And that caused a bit of confusion with everyone because yes, they do enable something. They do list features here that they don't like. So these features, obviously, if you use them, you most likely will get an account ban. However, they're not saying how they know. And the reason people are confused is because what if that means that Jagex doesn't know if you're using the plugin? What if there's no possible way for them to tell if you're using these third-party clients and using these overpowered plugins? They can say, right? Jagex can say, we don't like this and we don't want you guys to do this. But if they say that we can't tell if you're doing it, they're pretty much just saying that they need some type of trust between the players and the JMods. But listen, we know this community, okay? There is obviously a good side to the community. There's people who will always follow the rules and always follow what Jagex is saying. And there's a side to it that do not care what Jagex say. They will do whatever they want. They will always, continue botting, continue using these plugins. And unless Jagex is like, hey, we can tell you're using these plugins, and if you use them, we'll be banned, people are going to continue to use them. What I personally think is worth doing with Jagex is I just legit think that Jagex should sit down, spend a day, it probably wouldn't take longer than a day, go through all the plugins that are offered on third-party clients. So for RuneLite and OS Buddy, the main two clients, go through every single plugin. If they think the plugin is too intrusive, if they think it takes away from the old school experience, write it down on a list and say, do not use this plugin. We will ban you if you use it, or you will not permanently ban, or maybe like a week or something, just pretty much a warning if you're using these plugins. For example, if you go to RuneLite and you go to the, menu entry swapper plugin, and technically menu entry swapper allows you to, bypass a click option. Usually you would have to right click on a banker and select bank instead of talk to. What menu entry swapper does, it allows you to left click bank on any banker in the game. That's technically bypassing a click. However, they didn't list it here, so we don't know, right? They're saying that any plugin that allows you to bypass any gameplay mechanic is unacceptable. That being said, is that really an intrusive plugin when you have to left click on a banker instead of have to right click bank on a banker? I don't think it saves any time. If you think about it, if you're running to a bank and you right click bank on the banker, or you left click bank, it's the same amount of time. It's not really an intrusive plugin. Or for example, clue scroll plugins that do puzzle boxes for you. Yes, you're technically saving time on the puzzle box, but is it really an intrusive plugin? I mean, it's saving you maybe, 30 seconds. Some people actually hate puzzle boxes. It takes them a long time to do them, but it's more of a quality of life thing. People argue that a lot of these plugins aren't really intrusive. They're just quality of life things, and they make old school RuneScape less annoying. I don't think the right option is to straight up ban third-party clients. If Jagex were just to say, if you guys are using a client that isn't the vanilla client, that isn't the old school version of the client, you'll be banned. If they do that, many people will quit. That is not the right thing to do, and I think they know that. That being said, like I said, I think the best thing for them to do, and prove me wrong, definitely argue against me in the comments or agree with me if you guys want. This is a really interesting topic. Jagex needs to sit down. They need to go through all the plugins on OS Buddy, on RuneLite, and just pretty much give it a check mark or put an X next to it, right? If they like the plugin, tell people that the plugin's okay. If they don't like the plugin, tell people that the plugin isn't okay. Or else there's always going to be a constant state of confusion and a constant state of, well, should I be using this? Should I not be using this in the community? And I really think they just need to just tell people, right? Stamp your foot down, make it official, and let people know. Where I draw the line, though, is these, clients that are going above and beyond to add features to the game, or add plugins to the game that are just way, way, way too intrusive, right? The clients that, show you how to do JAD and do Zalra for you, and of course, the ones that make things like, I've seen this client that offers insane Theater of Blood plugins, Theater of Blood plugins, that makes the entire thing kind of a joke. And of course, those, I personally think it should be a ban if you play on those clients. But again, I just don't know if Jagex can tell if you're playing on these clients. If you guys are, have made plugins before, or about third-party clients and the coding behind them, and I think it's called like an obfuscator or something, let me know in the comment section below. Do you guys think that Jagex can tell when people are using these overpowered plugins, or are they just kind of like putting trust in the community and just saying, please don't use these plugins, because we know trust is kind of a sketchy thing. I think hoping that there's some type of honor code is just the complete wrong way to go. Of course, some people will honor the honor code, but we know this community, okay? Most people won't, and that's why I think they need to be, more official about it. Finally, today we have the OSRS reveals from RuneFest, which is the Morytania Expansion, the new clan system, and of course, what everyone was kind of hoping for, Group Ironman. So first up is the Morytania Expansion. Now this is the one that people weren't expecting. I think some people were expecting a clan system and of course Group Ironman, but the Morytania Expansion was completely unexpected, I'd say. I think a lot of people thought there would be a desert expansion because the desert has not really been shown a lot of love over the course of Old School. Every other place has had a lot of updates to it, but the Morytania Expansion was what was announced, and I think one person in particular, Mr. Swampledix, aka Settled, aka the best video maker on Oldschool RuneScape is going to be very, very happy. So the announcement was that to infiltrate the city of Darkmire, permeate vampiric high societies, and create a new weapon to defeat a terrifying threat to the citizens of Morytania. In the latest installment, they forgot an L. Game's broken, of the Myrek or I'm just going to say Myrek quest series, Sins of the Father. If that wasn't enough to rattle your bones, you'll soon be able to team up with fellow players to take on a dark force beneath sleep known as the Nightmare. If you guys would like to read the full Morytania expansion blog, they just released it recently. You guys can click on this link to go into full detail, including the perspective poll questions. Again, all links to these updates are going to be in the description of the video today, so feel free to click on those to check out and read them for yourself. But the Morytania expansion is, of course, going to happen in Morytania. The first thing coming out is the Sins of the Father, which I'm guessing is a quest that is a follow-up to the Taste of Hope. In this quest, you guys have to defeat Ranus Draken, but you guys defeated Ranus Draken, but that optimism may not last. In Sins of the Father, you'll come face to face with Lord Draken himself. If you somehow survive, you unlock access to the vampire capital of Darkmire. Now, I remember when Darkmire was released on pre-EOC, right? I thought it was so incredibly hyped. I thought the quest was really good. And now to see it come out on Oldschool RuneScape, it to me is even crazier. So there's three main things here coming out. We have vampires. You'll be doing things like pickpocketing Vire Lords and Vire Ladies, killing Virewatch Elite. We have the Essence Mine, where you can mine some new Essence and raw Dale deposits, which is going to be kind of a little bit of an addition to the rune crafting skill. And then the biggest one, yes, the biggest one, the thing that got the most hype at RuneFest was the announcement of Black Graceful, Dark Graceful, and you can get it by doing the Hollowed Sepulture, which I'm guessing is how it's called. This is going to be a brand new agility activity. You aren't going to be able to get Dark Graceful by doing just your regular rooftop with Marks of Grace. This is going to be a brand new activity that you guys have to participate in. It's kind of like an agility mini game, which I guess is kind of cool, right? It's something new, and there's going to be different agility requirements, kind of like with Pyramid Plunder. Every 10 agility levels, you unlock a new tier of the mini game: 52, 62, 72, 82, 92. So it looks like minimum of 52 agility is needed to participate in this, but it's going to be a brand new thing. It's going to be in a crypt, and you guys have to work together and kind of like avoid obstacles and traps and everything, and then finish it and get points to unlock the Dark Graceful. And finally, we have the Nightmare of Ashihama. Far to the east, there's an island called Ashihama, which is home to a group of sirens. For a long time now, the isle has been plagued by nightmares, and the dreams of these sirens have been stolen, feasted upon, and destroyed by a force beyond all reckoning. And then a brave siren called Shura took action, forming a group to defeat the creature in its own lair, but somehow it escaped across the ocean to Morytania, drawn to sleep and its resident sleeper plague. The nightmare has become the latest in a long line of terrors to stalk the dark corners of the land. Journey to the Sisterhood Sanctuary and sleep to take on the challenge, and whatever you do, don't fall asleep. This new boss is aimed at small to large groups. It's a new group boss that has a similar playstyle to the Corporeal Beast and be both challenging and accessible. The Nightmare is expected to be released earlier than the Sins of the Father and the Darkmire City. So, this new Morytania expansion offers a new boss, a new agility activity to unlock Black Graceful, a kind of a new mining and runecrafting expansion in the raw Dale deposits and the new Essence Mine. We have, pickpocketing and killing Vire Lords and Vire Watches and Vire Ladies, and of course the Darkmire expansion, which opens up the entirety of Darkmire. Then we have the Sins of the Father as a new quest, and that is the Morytania expansion. So, as I said, I'm sure Settled's going to be happy. What do you guys think? Do you guys think Morytania is a good place to expand? I'm kind of happy that they're, not doing more just on a brand new, landmass that they are releasing, kind of like how Zaya was back in the day. It's cool that they're expanding the current game and adding all these things to it. But again, that was just my first impressions of it. Let me know what you guys think of the Morytania expansion in the comment section below. Next up is the brand new clan system. Now this one excites me because, well, first of all, if you guys didn't know, I actually have a clan chat in game. If you guys go to your clan chat right now and just type in SOUP, S-O-U-P, nice and simple, then you can join my clan and we can all talk about this big new update to clan systems. But as they say right here, clans have been an integral part of RuneScape since the game's release. These clans, there are clans that are older than some of our players, and some clans are older than some members of the Old School RuneScape team. They're the backbone, and they've existed since Old School has been around. So what they're offering here is a brand new clan system. Back in the pre-EOC days, I think RS3 still has this. They have a clan citadel. It's not going to be like a clan citadel because, well, first of all, the clan citadel would not be good for Old School RuneScape, but what they're offering here is kind of more what the RS3 system has, with, it's a lot more stat tracking, a lot more members, and pretty much ways for clans to actually compete against one another and keep track of a lot more things. So here's the features that they're offering for a brand new clan system. It's worth checking right here, though, that a substantial amount of technical work needs to be completed before the development of the game content can begin. With this in mind, we aren't offering a specific release date beyond aiming for 2020. Now, I'm not going to say this is worrying, but the last time we talked about, not giving a specific release date, and then they didn't, Old School Mobile, you guys remember winter 2017, then it came out 10 months later. My hope is that, maybe something changes and they something ends up going very well with the engine work and they can actually release it very, very soon. But if you guys want my honest opinion, I really don't think that the clan system or Group Ironman is going to come out until at least the summer. My worry is that they're going to take a long time to do it, and then they just want to release it right away, and then they end up releasing it like next October or something. That, to me, that's pretty much a year from now, obviously. I hope that they release it in the summer, because the summer is usually the best time to release these big updates. Think of all the massive updates in the past that have come out in this summer that have done very well, right? The Inferno was released, I think, in June, and it did insanely well. Theater of Blood was also released in June, did insanely well. A lot of people are online in the summer. People have more free time. People can play more. So to make the most of these big updates, like this new clan system, like Group Ironman, I really think they need to aim and do their best to have a summer release date. Even if that means slowing down on other updates, I really think it's an important thing to have. So anyways, here are some of the features that they'd like to offer for a new clan system. New clan ranks and permissions. You'll be able to customize access to the chat channels and organize your clan structure according to your liking. More chat channels, so you'll be able to remain in your clan chat's channel whilst guesting in another clan and stay in contact with your friends in your friends chat channel. That was a hard sentence right there. You can have up to 500 clan members, up from the current 100 that there are right now. There's strengths in numbers. The clan system will offer more channel members than the existing friend chat. Clan-wide KD counters. Identify the weakest and the strongest amongst you. Customizable recruitment boards, clan notice boards, clan broadcast messages, and you can actually now link your clan Discord, which is kind of cool. No more bypassing the chat filter to share your clan's server information. So that's actually, really cool. So what they're doing actually is bringing in a lot of current clan leaders. They're going to, fly them to Jagex to Cambridge, and they're having huge discussions talking about what they should be adding to the new clan system. I'm really excited for this. I think clans are absolutely awesome. I think they deserve more love. This has been requested for a long time, this update to the current clan system, and hopefully that means that it's going to be a really, really awesome, and it's going to be a good way, I think, to actually keep people playing the game, right? If there's an incentive to log in and help your clan, and if there's incentive to log in with this brand new clan system, I really think it'll keep people playing the game and end up being a really, really good thing for the future of Old School. Because if there's one thing that needs some love, like I said, it's first of all, it's PvP, and that they're getting screwed over left and right. We know about that. But the second thing, in my opinion, was the clan system. I think Old School's current clan system is so terrible, right? It's just one clan chat and some ranks you can give out, and that's pretty much it. But this new clan system, hopefully, fingers crossed, is going to be very, very good. Again, it's not going to come out anytime soon. I'd say minimum at least 8 to 9 months, but maybe it'll surprise us and have some awesome updates along the way. Okay, now finally to the big one, Group Ironman. I'm sure there are some people watching right now who are just like, I am so sick of hearing those two words, Group Ironman. It has been talked about, it has been requested for so many years now, and finally, they announced it at RuneFest. It got a very, very good reception, obviously, and it's official. They are working on Group Ironman. It is going to come into the game next year, hopefully. So the thing that actually kind of blows my mind is that Ironman and Ultimate Ironman have been in the game, since October 13th of 2014. It's been 5 years since Ironman mode came out. How crazy. Dude, Old School RuneScape is 6.5 years old. That makes me feel really old, because I still remember the first few weeks of Old School RuneScape very well. When those servers first came out, man, dude, I still remember that so incredibly well. And here we are 6.5 years later, and Group Ironman is being officially released into the game. So what is Group Ironman going to be? So as a fresh Group Ironman, you'll be able to join a group of 2 to 5 players. So now that was one of the biggest questions. What are they going to make the team size? And they're actually going to offer multiple team sizes. So you guys can have a group of 2, 3, 4, or 5 people in your group, which is actually awesome. I thought they would restrict it to maybe like 4 or 5, but to choose between 2 to 5 players is absolutely awesome. You and your group obviously have to earn supplies and items together without trading any other players. Everyone will be on a fresh playing field with the release of Group Ironman. 4 different high score races will begin at once. Each group size will have their own high scores table. If you've chosen to be a Group Ironman, you'll be placed in a penned off area upon completion of the tutorial. Here, similar to Barbarian Assault, you'll find other potential members of your group. The more people there are, the easier it is to gather items and achieve goals. Your group can always increase in size up to 5 players, but it cannot decrease. We don't want players to gain an advantage with a bigger group and then move down to a more competitive bracket. With this new proposed client system, each group will have their own secure chat channel separate from the existing channels, and each group has their own group leader. The group leader will have the power to initiate a vote to remove someone from the group. In the event of a tie, the group leader will decide the outcome. If you are removed from the group, you'll remain a Group Ironman, but you have to recruit more members to your own newly formed group. So right there, that was a lot to take in right there. But what they're pretty much saying is that the question a lot of players had was, well, what if you have somebody in your group who quit or who doesn't want to play anymore and wants to be removed? You guys are going to have a group leader who can remove that player. However, you guys have to find a new person, and the person who can join your new group has to be a new fresh account. So you can't just add someone to your group who's a much better current Group Ironman and then, boost you just like that. It has to be a fresh new account. And if that new person who gets kicked from the group wants to play Group Ironman, they have to create a fresh new group of however many players to keep playing. So it's kind of actually a brutal system, right? If you guys get kicked from your group, you need to find a lot of players to join your group, which is going to lead to some interesting situations down in the future or down the line. As they say right here, your group can always get bigger. So let's say you start with 2 people and you want to, increase to 4. You guys can add 2 more people to your group, but again, they have to be fresh accounts from scratch from the start. And you can never go down in size. So once you guys, leave, let's say you're doing 2 people. Once you guys go up to 3, you can never go back to 2. Now, that's pretty much all that they said on the news post. And I talked about this earlier, but Group Ironman is going to be a very, very interesting update. And not only because it's been requested for so incredibly long, but because I feel like since they've taken so long to announce Group Ironman, a lot of other things I feel like have maybe taken priority, like the third-party client issue, like things like account security, right? Jagex definitely need to do something about account security before Group Ironman, before all hell breaks loose and something crazy happens down the line, and that they, and they'll regret not having fixed that issue earlier. But that's another topic, account security. You guys all know that. Hopefully that's something they're working on. But Group Ironman is going to be. It's going to be an amazing update. Of course, I'm going to play. I am sure a lot of you guys listening right now are so incredibly excited to play, but it's going to be one of the most unique, if not the most unique game mode, because for the first time ever, if somebody stops playing, it actually directly affects your account, right? Let's say you have a group of 4 players in your Group Ironman. 3 of you guys are going hardcore, but one person straight slacking, one person actually maybe ends up quitting. Like, you guys are going to have to kick that person, find a new person, and that person is going to have to build up their account from scratch to keep up with you guys. I mean, it's going to be a whole new host of issues. And to me, that's awesome. That's so cool that it's this brand new challenge, and I think that's exactly what Old School RuneScape needs right now. The game, I'm not going to say the game is stale. I think for some people the game is stale. It's been out for so long now. Some people think that they've done everything there is to do in the game. Technically, Old School RuneScape, you never run out of content, because unless you get 4.6 bill XP and you unlock everything in your collection log and you get all the pets and you get all the minigame rewards, you really can't complete Old School RuneScape. But nobody's ever actually going to do that. But this is going to be a brand new challenge, along with Twisted Leagues, the new client system, and Group Ironman. It's in my opinion, I think it was a good RuneFest update. I think it was a good RuneFest announcements. I think it's exciting for the game. I think it's a breath of fresh air. I'm remaining optimistic in the sense that this is obviously not going to come out anytime soon. As I said earlier, my hope is that they announce it for the summer. I think it would be the absolute best time to announce it. It's when the most players are online. But a part of me, this little thought in the back of my head, a part of me is just thinking like, what if they announce it like winter of next year? That's so far away. That it's scary to me, but fingers crossed that something good ends up coming of this. Now, the other thing is that, yes, they have, Group Ironman here on the news post, but this is the entirety of the news post, right? There's like 150, okay, there's like 300 words here talking about Group Ironman. So they're not talking more about it. And that to me means that, yes, they have the rough draft in place, right? They talked about it. They say that they can do it. And that's the most important thing. The fact that they announced it means that they can actually do it. The thing is, they really didn't go in depth and that much in depth, which means that they still are not totally sure how they're going to implement it and what a lot of the other obstacles are going to be for the Group Ironman mode, which means that they still have a long ways to go before it comes into the game. But to me, the fact that they just announced it is very exciting, and it's kind of cool seeing all these people on Twitch, on Twitter, on YouTube already talking about who they want in their group and everything. So, but if you guys are stressing about finding a group, don't worry, okay? There's going to be a long time to find a group, plenty of time to meet up with people and try to get a group going together. Again, don't stress about it right now. Just be happy that they announced things like Click Client System and Group Ironman. So that is going to be the updates for today. We talked about the Twisted League, we talked about the unofficial clients, and now we talked about the three big expansion, or the three big updates announced at RuneFest: the Morytania Expansion, a new client system, and Group Ironman mode. So if you guys are still watching at this point, thank you guys all for watching. I appreciate you guys all tuning in for so long. And make sure to leave your guys' thoughts in the comment section below, and let me know what you guys are most excited for in the next year and a half of Old School RuneScape. And I guess something we can talk about too that we didn't mention is there anything you guys wish would have been announced? Or maybe is there anything you guys are hoping that they still are going to announce for the next year and a half of Old School RuneScape that you think might be beneficial to the game? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you guys all for watching this very long video. I tried to keep it as short as possible, meaning that I didn't want to ramble for hours and hours, but I think this is probably going to be under an hour. Still a longer video. Thank you guys all again for watching these. I really appreciate it. I'm really excited for the next year and a half. And of course, as you guys heard earlier, I have a brand new series planned, which is going to be it's going to be something you guys have never seen before. And it's going to take a lot of work. But of course, if you want something to get recognition and if you want something to do well on RuneScape YouTube in 2019 and 2020, you need to put the effort in to make it work really well. So thank you guys all again for watching today. Have a great rest of your guys' week. I should have a video up again this weekend. Thank you all for watching. See you next time. Have a good one, and peace.
Wow.